Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Raising an Ace. Today's episode is going to be about raising Ace to be open-minded.
Say hi, Ace.
Alright.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Mwah. Yeah, the importance of open-mindedness, ma'am, cannot be overstated.
Right. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you gotta put him in the high chair.
Yeah.
Even in a time like this, with social media, a lot of information out there, tension, disagreements, there's a lot of closed-minded people out there that are pretty much slaves to their own thinking or are mentally boxed in. So the future, look at my shirt, depends on open-minded people. We want Ace to be open-minded for certain. And note that open-mindedness, it's a deep topic. If we did a video on going deep in every single area of open-mindedness, it might be 10 hours long. Right. So we're going to try to pack a lot into the 15-20 minutes, really try to be concise with it. Yeah. And the first thing that we want to mention is authenticity and open-mindedness. They're the two most important character traits in my opinion. Because if you lose authenticity, you lose who you are. If you lose open-mindedness, you lose who you will become, how God intended for you to be. Right. So you have to be open-minded to your best self pretty much. And with Ace, a big part of open-mindedness is being exposed to the diversity of the world pretty much, the possibilities out there. Right. So one thing is just with the things that he's interested in, right? Like with music, we're going to expose him to different types of music. Yes. A big one is career paths. So I hear a lot sometimes people 25 years old, 50 years old, or people who never even get to this point of they just figure out like they didn't know a career existed or something like that. You know, we want Ace to understand the wide array of areas where he can excel in.
Yes. Also even sports too. So.
Yeah, for certain. And then this is also tied into we want him to think for himself too. We don't want him to be pressured to think a certain way because of his upbringing, because of his race, because of any outside character trait. And Miriam and me, we're going to be conscious of not saying things like boys do this or something like that. We want him to think for himself and to avoid groupthink. And a big thing with this too is just put an internal character trait at the beginning of the statement. So we may say things like tough boys do this, courageous boys do this. Right. You know, you want to group people in terms of internal character traits so everyone can achieve it. Yeah. Little boy's fussing over here, but we're still going to work through this video. Yeah, and that's a big point. And even with spirituality too, we're going to raise Ace to have a specific form of spirituality, but as he grows up, we don't want him to just think about something in a spiritual sense because mom or dad thinks that way or he was raised that way. We really want to raise an independent, critical thinker. Right. You know, like that's really important for us. And how are we going to do that? We thought of a couple really key aspects to raise that. So the first one is when he goes through the phase of asking why for things, like why does this happen, mom and dad, age 3 or 4? Mm-hmm. We might answer in a deep way, but the most important thing is to throw the question back at him. Right. Why do you think that happens, Ace? What's your opinion on that? Yeah. And also at the dinner table, we're gonna try to encourage deep conversations. So one thing I thought of was I may just present an example to Ace of a situation or something going on in the world and just present all the facts, not inject my opinion on it, and then ask Ace, so what do you think about this? And this is something you can do early, age 3 or 4, just to get him thinking on a deep level about things. You know, like that's a really powerful thing. Yeah. And a key idea, Ace keeps on dropping this phone, but the next point is, Ace needs to trust his experiences. So I learned this at an early age. What do I mean by that is, in 7th grade, I learned just watching sports. Sometimes Sports Center or a commentator may lie with the headline or say something that I didn't agree with. So this is like trust your own viewpoint over something you read, perhaps a news headline. So one example with this is, say a river. If we bring Ace to a river in Philadelphia at age 5, he'll see maybe how beautiful the river is. Yeah. Then we'll show him a news headline that says the river is dirty. Right. But like if Ace just believed that news headline, he would have never saw that river. Yeah. You know? So that's like, you all good, little boy? It's tough filming a video with a little baby. But yeah, so the idea is digest news properly. but you don't want to go overboard with this. So don't be so much into trusting your own experience that you're closed-minded. So perhaps that headline was true. So maybe both are true.
Right.
Maybe he saw a part of the river that was beautiful and another part was dirty. He only knows the whole river is not dirty.
Yeah.
Or maybe when the time the article was written, it was dirty, but now it's beautiful.
Right.
Or maybe underneath the river is dirty, but the top is beautiful. So just,
or it could just be poisonous and
you can't see it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
underneath it. So yeah.
Yeah, so like that sort of deep thinking, even at age 5, that's so powerful. If you can see like all of the possibilities for things.
Yeah.
You know, and this ties into the next point on choices and evaluating all of your choices. Especially when responding to a situation, you have to be open for that.
Yeah.
So one example I thought of was, say a friend of his is making jokes at Ace's expense. So you have a few ways that you can address that. Analyze all the choices. You can tell the teacher. You can just ignore the friend, not be friends anymore. You can punch the friend in the face. You can talk to the friend in an understanding way. So that's like view the positive and negative choices out there and then choose the best one. So don't just think something because it's an old way of doing it. Or don't just, little boy is active today.
He is.
Yeah. And like, don't just think something because someone did it before you. Really analyze the situation through for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is also for, even when in situations that he makes the correct choice. Say he chooses to do a project instead of playing outside with his friends or going to sleep. We can still analyze all of those choices with Ace and be like, Ace, you chose the right choice there.
Right.
You know, it's like choose a productive choice no matter if an unproductive thing happens to you. That's totally your responsibility. And the next point with this is, a big part of choosing the right choices is analyzing what the choices are, which ties into creativity. We were thinking making a whole video to be creative, but creativity and open-mindedness, they are really highly tied together. Creativity and conversation is so important. We're going to encourage that. And creativity, man, is more so about not suppressing creativity. Meaning a lot of parents do this with their children.
Yeah.
Even as a little baby, like 1 year old. Like, we're putting them in the high chair now, but guess what? We're doing this in one take for that reason. We don't want to suppress his creativity, put him in there for hours after we're trying to film. That's not productive for him. Or when a child is maybe playing drums on a pot. Don't just say, don't play drums on the pot, that's for cooking. That's not productive. Or maybe the child draws a dog and they color the dog purple. Don't just say something like, come on, like dogs are brown. You're suppressing your child's creativity.
Right.
We want Ace to explore the area around and all the toys around.
Yes.
That's really powerful. Because children are natural creative people. You don't want to suppress it. I'm thinking of a quote from Pablo Picasso here. I love this quote. All children are artists. The problem is remaining an artist as we grow up.
Right.
That's so true. And as Ace strengthens his creativity, he's going to understand that he can be authentic and still change his mind on things.
Right.
You know, a truly authentic person is open-minded to change their mind because that's what growing is. And this ties into authenticity is your core values remain the same, but you can change your mindset.
Right.
And we talked about humility in a previous video, closely tied in with open-mindedness. It's very important if you're a confident person to maintain open-mindedness. That's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And it boils down to, we want Ace to be more concerned with the truth than being right. So I was thinking, how do we get Ace to understand this concept? And I thought of an example. Ace 4 years old doing a puzzle. And perhaps we show him like, Ace, like this piece actually fits over here. It doesn't fit over there. If he throws a big fit and his ego gets in the way and he's like, no, like it fits over here. We're going to have a conversation at age 4. Like, Ace, it's not a big deal that your initial thought was wrong.
Right.
It's about being right in the end. You know, and so many people, Miriam, they let their ideas own them. You have to own your ideas and your thinking. That's really important. And with Ace, when he says something or when he gets older and he posts something online, think about this. Is your first thought what sounds good, or is it what do I think? You have to start off with what do I think and then be like, okay, how can I articulate this in the way that I want to so it sounds good?
Right.
That's a major point. What do I think? There's a lot of fake people, Miriam, I can smell it a mile away, that are closed-minded. We know for certain Ace is not going to be one of those people.
Yeah.
And this ties into our next point. There's a lot of closed-minded people towards other people.
Right.
You hear so much right now. How do you raise a child to not be racist?
Right.
And it's not rocket science for us.
If you're open-minded, you won't be racist. you know?
For certain.
Yeah.
Modeling as parents, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, racist is the same thing as sexist or any other word with ist on the end.
Right.
And the big thing is we're going to mention right now is be conscious of the biases your child has and when they generalize people and the aspects of their life that aren't directly in the household.
Those are
the 3 key things. So bias, let's go into that.
Yeah.
So is there positive biases? Yes. You're thinking what? Because
if he prefer a song over another song.
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Like with things, even with people too. Why I'm biased against mean people. Meaning I don't like to hang around mean people or fake people. You know, it's like once you get to know someone and you're judging them based off an internal character trait, that's a fine sort of bias. It's when you judge from an outer character trait that's bad.
Right. Even
generalizing. So if he says, look, someone is wearing glasses, they must be smart or they must be a dork. You know, even the positive bias of being smart is still a bias.
Right.
Because even every positive bias has a negative bias attached to it too. Meaning people who don't wear glasses aren't as smart.
Right.
So like that's a bad bias. We gotta call that out when we see it. Don't generalize people. And if Ace isn't generalizing people or grouping people to begin with, then he won't be racist, he won't be any ist word.
Right.
Because he's not even grouping people to begin with.
That is true.
You know? And the third point is what's not in the household, right? So with us, we're in Philadelphia. We're conscious. Maybe he has a negative attitude to people on the West Coast. You know, we can't expose him to people on the West Coast, but we can be conscious of negative attitudes towards those people. Or maybe we're in West Philly, he's biased against people in South Philly or North Philly. Mm-hmm. So we really got to be conscious of that. For you parents out there, don't raise your child to be closed-minded. Recognize biases, recognize what's not in the household and all that stuff. That's really important.
Yeah.
And the next point with this is, if you're open-minded,
right,
combine that with intelligence and courage to combat those closed-minded people out there.
Yeah.
You know? You need a drink of water.
Ace here is nursing, so.
He's a fussy little boy. But we're doing this in one take for certain, like we said before.
Yeah.
And the next point I want to mention with this is, don't assume. So say Ace is 7 years old and his friend doesn't want to play basketball with him. Don't just assume it's because he doesn't want to be friends anymore and then become sad over it. Be open-minded to the reasons. Maybe the friend wasn't good at basketball. Maybe they don't want to be friends anymore. Maybe he was right. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he's sick. You know, be open-minded to the reasons for that.
Yeah.
And this is even important with assuming things even in regards to yourself. So if he just assumes, look, I'm going to get 100 on this project without studying, that's a bad assumption.
Yeah.
Like, be open-minded to the positive aspects and the negative aspects of your decisions, pretty much.
Right.
And this is also tied into, don't assume another person's character based off their opinion.
Yeah.
So this ties into a lot with people have different opinions. You have to respect that, you know. Just because someone's maybe has a different opinion than you doesn't mean they're mean. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with them. Right. Especially right now, a lot of different viewpoints out there, you have to be open-minded. And I'm thinking of Kobe Bryant here, him and Shaq, they didn't see eye to eye. But Kobe recognized for the greater good of the team, they need to work together and show teamwork.
Right.
You know, with Ace, we want him to have an open-minded presence, encourage diversity of thought. People like being around open-minded people that aren't always trying to be right. You know, that's going to be a really powerful thing with Ace.
Right.
And the next thing I want to mention is Ace needs to be open-minded to life and encouraging, hey, Ace, don't go after the phone. And say he needs to expect the unexpected in life. Right now, coronavirus, stuff going on. Right. I'm not rattled. Why am I not rattled? Because I expect the unexpected in life. So with Ace, we can encourage him to have this mindset by using his experiences as his own teacher. For example, if he's age 8, we may ask him something like,
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Sure. Miriam is working hard with Ace right now.
Today, he is not trying to sit down. I don't know why.
Exactly. And so if Ace, at first I was going to say if age is age Ace. But no, if Ace is age 8, we may use an experience from age 6 and be like, did you expect this to happen? Right. Positive or negative? He may say no. So then he'll understand, look, anything can happen from age 8 to 10 too. So don't be surprised when things happen. And this ties into a big point in this video is be open to every aspect of life, positive and negative. We're going to model that too with Ace, where we're open to him doing anything he wants in life. Meaning, some parents, they say, oh, I can't imagine my child doing that, to something really negative.
Yeah,
but guess what?
I really don't understand. You can't put anything past anyone.
Exactly.
Like, you gotta know that he's human, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, because look, if you're closed-minded to something negative your child is doing, then you're also closed-minded to the most amazing thing possible that they're capable of doing.
Right.
So with Ace, we're not going to generalize people too. A big part of this is label actions, not people. We're not going to say like, oh, bad people do this, good people do this, or that person on the news is a bad person. No.
Yeah.
We're going to say people do bad things and people do good things. What are you going to do about
Right.
it? What are you going to do? What is your action going forward? You have the capabilities in you to do good and bad. It's your call.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reference what you were going to mention on Maya Angelou quote. I referenced this in a post I wrote called MVP on Earth. She referenced someone saying, what was it? I am a human being, therefore nothing human is alien to me.
Right.
That's an empowering statement. We want him to understand that. He takes control of his life. And you may be asking, well, Brian, what if it's extreme adversity? I'll be like, you can still control that. I'm going to reference David Goggins. He went through a lot when he was younger. He grew up in poverty. He dealt with racism. He was abused. He was lazy, he said. He had health problems. And he said he flipped the script. He's like, let me use all of this adversity to overcome and make an amazing story. You know?
Yeah.
And the few character traits we talked about before too, courage, toughness, positivity, combine all of those intelligence with open-mindedness, and you can pretty much do anything that you want in life.
Right.
That's my belief. And to you parents out there, think about that. Foster open-mindedness in your child. If you do that, greatness is going to be chasing after them. They don't even have to consider greatness because their actions and their mindsets are going to be aligned with greatness no matter what.
Right.
So that's the video. Come on, Ace. Your fussy
Thank
self
you guys
needs to
so
say
much
hi.
for watching and being patient with us.
Yeah. There's a lot of information. I'm thinking maybe I missed something, but if I did, I'm going to put it in the description. Alright, say goodbye, Ace.
Future.
Yeah, the future relies on open-minded people, as we said before. That's what it's about.
Right.
Alright, take care.
Thank you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We love you guys. Say bye. Bye.
Mwah.